Hey there, Patty Dominguez with episode 130 of the Positioning to Profit podcast. Thank you for being here, for checking it out. Thank you, as always, every single time when I do an episode. I'm very hopeful that it lands in the right ears if you're listening to me on this spring day. And I'm just truly thankful to have this opportunity to share all of the experiences that I have gone through, my clients, how I can bring these things to you so that you can position your business to profit. Today is a solo show, and I'm going to be sharing with you some tips that I believe is, so essential. And what I mean by that is everything to do with business intuition. Yes, it is intuition. Yes, it is a secret sauce that you can add to your arsenal, to your toolbox, that you can definitely count on as you're making the decisions that matter in your life. I can tell you the times that I have not honored my intuition, I have paid the price dearly. Inevitably, your intuition will always guide you. It's your true north. It's that gut feeling. It's that when you're getting those nudges, that's your intuition. So on today's show, I'm going to be sharing some tips around intuition, how to strengthen that intuitive muscle, and so that you see that there is so much there to tap into and what you can do so that it's guiding you and you're honoring that. And ultimately, you can create it so that it's a superpower, because I can tell you for certain it's helped me tremendously. Okay, so that's the show. And with that, let's get on. Here we go. Let's go. Hey there, I'm Patty Dominguez. You're about to discover what it means to position your brand and your business to stand out. This show explores the stories of small business owners just like you who are bringing their message out to the world and impacting their tribe. So if you want to take your business to a category of one status, then hang with me, because this podcast shares everything you need to know about how to be more prolific with your brand so that you can have more profits. Okay, let's get on with it. Today we're talking about intuition. And I have a really great quote for you by Albert Einstein, validated. That's an Albert Einstein quote. And the reason I'm saying that is because I sent an email out where it was a passage from Albert Einstein, and someone emailed me and said, hey, that's actually not Albert Einstein. I'm like, the sentiment was real and I love the message, but I was like, okay. Inevitably, there's always going to be something on the internet that is, there's just a lot of random information out there. So that, be it as it may, I saw this quote. It is from Albert Einstein, by the way. And he said, I believe in intuitions and inspirations. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am. And so that is one of the greatest examples of how intuition could come into play. So for me, building the muscle of intuition, leaning more into trusting my gut has been a game changer for me personally. And so when you hear that comment of what does that mean, trust your gut, right? We all hear it. Some people say it's a feeling, or it's trusting your gut. It's that intuitive hit, perhaps a download. All of it matters. And so, of course, I started doing my research on this, and I found this really great article written back in April of 2011, Harvard Business Review, and the author, Modesco Mardike, was addressing the topic of business intuition. And so this journalist had interviewed 20 leading CEOs at the time, asking them all about the two major decisions that formed their career. One memorable decision that didn't work, and one decision that did work. And the interesting thing that he noticed is that virtually in every single case, that CEO really relied on gut feelings and intuitions. This is from the 20 leading CEOs at the time. So it's about developing a keen sense for achieving this confidence that we all have the opportunity to tap into. These CEOs develop that keen sense of that confidence in self. And you can too. So now in the Harvard article that I'm mentioning, the writer discussed of course, they get kind of brainy on things and said, okay, well, that could be heuristics, meaning the implicit rules of thumb, where these become the building blocks of intuition. Or there was another school of thought that intuition could just be random, right? And so, as you know, I love to keep things simple. And I'm like, hell yeah, there is intuition. It does exist. It is relevant, especially when it comes to your personal life, your professional life, etc. So the idea here that I believe is relevant in speaking on how to tap into more of your intuition. Intuition requires introspection, right? It's the intense journey into yourself. It's not just about the knowledge that you have in the craft that you bring. Again, we're talking about business intuition. So it's not about the expertise. It is about that inner guidance, that quote unquote intense journey into yourself. And in the article, the author also talked about the key to effective intuition is that decision making is best conveyed into knowing your business and knowing yourself. So it's a dual thing, right? It's the ability to speak to the expertise that you bring to the table, staying in your zone of genius. This is why you hear me say, stay in your zone of genius. And then also introspective, really knowing yourself. And so the sweet spot for business decision is when you can combine both of those, right? Steering clear of any of the biases, steering clear of these destructive emotions that could really hinder your success. In fact, I see so many times that people are so externally driven. They look outside of themselves for that approval, and they perhaps mistrust the ability that they have to tap into more of their intuition because they're too busy looking on the outside. And so what if I told you that the real magic, the real intensity of developing that intuition comes as a journey into yourself, like I mentioned. And what I mean by intensity, I don't mean as a power of force, but I mean as an extensive expression of the magnitude of how powerful you are. Man, I threw out a lot of 25-cent words there, but it's true. So I wanted to share with you just some really easy tips on how you can develop your intuition. I think this is a huge opportunity. And the first one is listening to your intuition, the little nudges that are ever so subtle that happen to pop up into your awareness at any given time, right? They bring different perspectives to you. Sometimes it's a hunch, it's a feeling, a thought, a download. Listen to it. What is it saying to you? And that requires that level of trust, right? Trusting, leaning into it, knowing that it's guiding you, because it is, right? The other side of it is that one of the ways that you can develop your intuition, or I should say another way, is mindful meditation. You can do self-hypnosis. It's magical. Either way, it is a way to connect to your subconscious. And I see it as almost like, I think it was T. Harv Eker, the author, said, it's not the fruits that you should be focusing on. So imagine that you have a fruit tree. People focus on the fruits, but the quality of the fruits is only as good as the roots. So I never forgot that, because I think it is so profound. And when you think about mindful meditation or that subconscious work or going to a hypnotist, it's about digging into the roots so that you can get a lot better fruits. So things like affirmations that you may hear, they work to some respect, but I feel like it's so on the surface. But when you work on your subconscious, it's really taking you to that new level of awareness that is so powerful. The best part is that a consistent practice, just 5 to 10 minutes a day, over time will be massively impactful. So to say that the excuse is like, oh, I can't get into it, or I have ants in my pants and I can't just sit there, it's a tall ask for me to sit there for 20, 30 minutes. I always say, where can you set the bar low so that you don't fail? And the way to do that is, can you just sit there for a minute and then build up to another minute? So it's 2 minutes, so on and so forth. But just 5 to 10 minutes can be such a difference maker. So big ups for mindful meditation. It absolutely works. All right, the next tip I have is soul journaling. It's something that I've talked about in, I believe, another podcast of how magical it's been for me. I was challenged once upon a time to buy a journal, take pen to paper, and for just 5 minutes a day, letting your subconscious tell you, okay, what do you want me to know? That's it. Write it down. Write down whatever comes up. That could be a form of your intuition speaking to you. Okay, another tip is asking yourself better questions. See, a lot of times we choose to live in the chaos of our problems when in fact the big opportunity is to not live in the problems, but to live in the solutions. And you can live in the solutions by asking yourself better questions. And then the last tip I have for you that has been really, really helpful for me is just going out for a walk. Going out for a walk, that quiet time. For me, it's kind of meditative at the same time. That's happened to me where I get into that state when I've been swimming. I used to be on the swim team when I was a lot younger, and that was a really great way to create that space where I felt like, yeah, I'm working out, but I feel like I'm in my head and I am getting this awesome intuitive hits, or going for a walk, or riding your bike, or going for a run. All of these things have been hugely rewarding for me. So by doing that, what happens is that you're really tapping into the power of your intuition. And when you start to recognize that these are ways that you can develop the muscle, you will set time for yourself to exercise the importance of it. And in this intuition, what starts to happen is that you will be guided. It's almost like the best tool that you could ever have, that you've always had, that you didn't know you really needed to really tap into all the time. It's hugely rewarding. And as a result, I personally always go with my intuition, and it's always led me in the right direction. Okay, if you're in a space where you are looking to develop your business intuition, and this has resonated with you, and you can see the power of tapping into your intuition, I got your back. Check out meetmyhigherself.com. It is a 21-day challenge that will send you 21 days of all of these tools that I've mentioned, the mindful meditations, the journaling prompts, the different types of exercise that get you into that space where you're creating the awareness of what you can do to develop the muscle of building your intuition. It is comprised of what I call the triad of her success. It is something that I carefully curated over all the books that I've read and the things that I've put into practice, and it truly has been a labor of love. And I just love the program, and it's not because I love it solely, but because I love the results it's getting for so many of my clients that have been so wonderful. They've gone through it and said, wow, this has been really great. It's impactful. I'm going through the challenge again and again. It's just a way to exercise that muscle so that you're tapping more into that business intuition. You're developing it in a very unique way as it's presented to you really easily in the 21-day challenge. Again, check it out. My official invitation for you to check it out at meetmyhigherself.com. You won't be disappointed. Okay. And with that, thank you for checking out this episode. As always, reach out on socials or otherwise and let me know what you think about this business intuition. How do you tap into your business intuition? How has it served you? And where do you believe the big opportunity is for you to tap more into it? So with that, I thank you again for checking out the show, and I will catch you next time. Thanks so much. Hey there, thanks for checking out this episode of Positioning to Profit. Please leave a review if you have gained a benefit from this episode. I appreciate it greatly, and I will give you a shout out on the show as well. I so appreciate the ratings and reviews. Okay, also for the positioning extravaganza, head over to positioningtoprofit.com. There's lots of goodies over there. It's a treasure chest of freebies as well as beautiful courses that will help you to establish your category of one and move your brand forward. And again, connect with me over on socials or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on the socials, so I hope to connect with you there, and I look forward to catching up with you real soon.